welcome back. Today I am doing this Get Ready With Me, which is a 90s grunge inspired glamorous makeup look which I wore out last weekend to a friend's birthday. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. I'm first starting off by moisturising my face. I'm using this Clinique Moisture Surge moisturiser first, and I am putting that all over my face, and I really like this because it doesn't feel too heavy on my skin and it's quite light and it does the job at moisturising my skin as well. And then I use this Origins GinZing eye cream underneath my eyes, and this was just to add some extra moisture because I was going to go in with quite a bit of concealer and makeup because I wanted this look to last all night long. And then I waited for about 5 to 10 minutes for that to kind of soak in. Then I went in with this MaxFactor colour corrector in the green shade to correct any kind of redness that I had on my skin. So I put those in those areas and then patted that away, and I didn't pat it away so you couldn't see the green because you want to make sure it's doing its job. Then grabbing the new Nars foundation and my MAC Face and Body foundation, I mixed those two together and put that all over my face with a foundation brush. And then I went in and blended that all away with a beauty blender. And I really like doing this method because I find that not only is my application even, but it's looking really seamless as well. And then to moisturise my lips, I used my LipGlam and I put that all over my lips, and this gave it enough time for my lips to be nice and ready for when I put on my lipstick. So moving on to eyes, I used the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion all over my eyelids to act as a good base. And then grabbing Shimma by Geek, I'm putting that on to my brow bone to give a gorgeous highlight. And I always make sure that at the end both eyes are looking as even as possible. And then I went on to the transition shade, which is Unexpected by Geek as well. And I put this all over my transition area, which is kind of where my crease is. And I made sure that these two are both looking even as well, and built up the colour quite a bit so it wasn't too pale looking. And then using a mixture of Mocha and Last Dance, again by Geek, I started putting this into the outer kind of V of my eye, and I slowly builded up the colour until I was happy with it. I did want it to be quite a deep browny, grungy, purpley, smoky eye. So I went in and kind of kept adding colour until I was happy with the final result, and I made sure that both eyes were looking as even as possible as well. Now to add a little bit of glam to this look, I went in with the shade In the Spotlight, which is a foil eyeshadow by Geek, and put that straight onto the areas of my eyelids where I didn't have any eyeshadow. And I used my finger for this because I feel that this kind of gets the best payout of colour. And then to kind of make this a bit more rosy, I added these two shades here from the Zoeva Rose Gold palette and put that straight on top to the foil shadow. And I did this until I was again happy with the colour, and then made sure that all of the eyes were looking nice and blended as possible. Next up, it was time to do my brows and fill them in, and I will leave a tutorial of how I do my eyebrow routine in the info box below, so if you guys would like to see that in full, then don't forget to check that out, but I've kind of sped through this bit. Next was up for concealer. I used the MAC Prolong Wear Concealer and this Sephora Brightening Concealer. So I put the MAC one on first underneath my eyes in a triangle shape, and I kind of blended it out ever so slightly and did the same thing to the other eye, and then applied it to the usual places that I like to highlight and conceal my face. Once I was done with that, I went in with the Sephora Brightening Concealer and then went and blended that all away with my beauty blender. I like to take my time with this and using a beauty blender because it soaks up any extra product, so you're not looking super heavy on the skin. And I definitely wanted to do this because I was going to go and set this in a different technique this time around for this Get Ready With Me. But first I went on to contouring. So I used the Mercier contour kit, and I will be doing an in-depth tutorial on how I like to use this. But I'm just using the darker shades around the perimeters of my face and my cheekbones, and then also under my jawline, my lips, my cupid's bow, and then I also decided to contour my nose ever so slightly. Then to blend all of that out, I took a little bit of my MAC Fix Plus spray and sprayed it on a really good stippling brush that I have from Motives, and I'm using that to blend all of those lines away into my skin. And again, you want to make sure that you're blending everything really well so you've not got any crazy lines going on your face. And then for my nose, I actually used a smaller brush to blend all those lines away because I didn't want it to look like I didn't have anything going on there. And next up, I set all of my contour with my Bahama Mama powder by the Balm Cosmetics. So I set pretty much every single area that I applied the cream contour on. So making sure that I've done all of that and that everything is looking nice and blended in together. Now the next step I wanted to do was to set all of the places that I concealed and highlighted. So I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime CC Cream with my Real Techniques, I think it's called the Complexion Sponge, but I'm putting a thin layer of this underneath my eyes, on my forehead, my chin, and also just underneath where my contour is. And I left this for about 5 minutes, and in the meantime I finished off my eyes. So first I went and curled my eyelashes and then added this Tarte mascara on top. And this was the first time I used this mascara, and so far I really like it, but I would probably wear it for daytime rather than nighttime because it is very kind of natural looking in my opinion. And then I went and did the same thing on the other eye, and then I actually used this MAC brush. I will leave the details of it in the info box to help make sure all the lashes were nice and spread out. So once that was done, I just kind of brushed away all the areas that I had left that setting powder, and this technique is called baking, and it helps your concealer and highlighter stay on forever, and it does make it a little bit more intense and it doesn't crease anywhere either. Then to finish off the rest of my eyes, I went in with my Perfection eyeliner and tightlined my upper waterline first, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to tightline my lower waterline, so I left that till the end. And I also made sure that I was concentrating this colour in the inner third of my eyes. And just to make that a little bit more intense, I used my Maybelline Master Precise liquid liner just in the inner thirds, and I lined the top part of my eyes really slightly, and this just helps your eyelashes look a lot thicker than they are. Then taking Mocha, which is the same eyeshadow shade that we used on the eyes, I am adding this to my lower lash line and slightly smoking it out. And I'm making sure that I'm also joining this up to where my eyeshadow ends on my eyelids, just so that everything looks nice and connected. Then grabbing my Mary Luminizer, which I love, I'm just adding that onto the inner corners of my eyes just to highlight that area. Then taking the same Lights Camera Lashes mascara from Tarte, I'm just going over my bottom lashes because you guys know I love doing that. And here is the part where I realised I wanted to line my lower lashes. My lower eyeliner. So yeah, I'm just doing my lower waterline and putting that on them to make everything look nice and smoky and complete. And for blusher, I used the Nars Dolce Vita blusher on the apples of my cheeks because this is a really nice kind of mauvey shade. And using a mixture of these two highlighters, the other highlighter is from MUA Cosmetics from Superdrug. It gives it a really nice pink sheen to it. I'm just adding that onto the high points of my face, the usual areas where I like to highlight. And next up it is for the lips, and first I wiped off all of the lip balm and first lined them with this Nude Truffle eyeliner, lip liner by NYX Cosmetics. So I lined them first and then filled them all in, and I really like the shade because it's that perfect kind of 90s brown shade, and I actually wear this by itself quite a lot, but I wanted to warm this up a little bit, so I added a little bit of Mahogany lip liner by NYX as well on top. And I was going to do kind of an ombre lip, but then I was like, nah, I just want to fill them all in because it was just easier for when I was out. And then I took my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish and dusted this all over my face to make sure everything was set and I was good to go for the rest of the night. So this is most of my makeup done. I did leave a couple of bits till the end because I kind of forgot to put them on. So next up I'm sorting out my hair. I washed my hair earlier that morning, so the first thing I wanted to do was straighten it because it was mega frizzy. So I used my GHD straighteners to straighten all of it, and I made sure at the top that I was straightening them up and out like this, and this just helped my hair stay in that direction when I did my really quick hairstyle. Then I took my teasing comb, which I got from Superdrug, and I teased just random sections of the crown of my head. And these can be big chunky sections, and I hairsprayed them as well. They don't have to be neat or anything like that. It just adds a little bit of height and a little bit of volume to the top section of your hair. And you can totally skip this step if you really wanted to, because I do this recently when I have greasy hair, so it's one of my go-to hairstyles at the moment. I just redid the top bit a little bit just to add a little bit more oomph, and then combed it all back and made sure that I was kind of happy with the shape that it was making. And then I went and just hairsprayed all of the front sections back. Now you can hairspray it as much or as little as you want, but I did go in with quite a bit because I wanted it to look like that wet hair kind of look. And then I made sure I was happy with the way that it was looking, and I grabbed the kind of side sections like you can see here, and I kind of pushed them back, and with a clear elastic I basically tied a little ponytail at the nape of my neck. So here I'm just kind of moving all the hair that I'm not putting into that little ponytail aside, and then with all that hair that was left I just simply tied it all with a clear elastic band. It is as simple as that. It's really effective, and I think it looks really good for nights out because it's quite rock starish but still glam at the same time. And once I was done with that, I just gave it another quick kind of hairspray and moved my hair around until I was like really happy with the way that it was kind of falling and setting. And I also sprayed the sides down to make it look a little bit more sleeked. And yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much how you do this hairstyle. Now just on to the last couple of things I did makeup wise. I used my Urban Decay makeup setting spray to make sure that my makeup lasted all night long. And then for lashes, I decided to use my favourite red cherry wispy lashes. And here you can see what they look like. And that is the final look, you guys. My rings are from Mercier and they're made from precious metals, which are beautiful. And this is how my makeup turned out. I forgot to insert clips of the dress that I wore, but it's from Misguided and it's a simple black dress. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was very different for me because it was very kind of grungy but glam. But yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!